Alright, welcome to the SuperCoach. Nuff. Gonna build us a team in SuperCoach for 2023, opened last week. And let's get into it. So, guess the idea of recording the video is just to have a generate a bit of discussion around how to put your team together. I'm sure everyone has different methods, but yeah, for myself, I think it's a case of looking for as much value as we can, and then stacking some guns in there, and whatever we got left, we'll see what we can do. So, probably the first thing I'm looking at for this year, the halfbacks, just going 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, whichever order you want. As I said, looking at the value down the list here, not seeing a great deal. Maybe there's a bit of a shout around Tanner Boyd, but he can slot in at hooker as well. Going further down, Katoa if he gets a run, but can't see that for round one. And that's really about it. So I might just set and forget the two weapons. You can see the averages there last year well above the pack, well owned too, so makes sense. I guess from there, looking to flesh out the rest of the spine. I guess, that's sort of where a lot of the points come from, so that's where I tend to start. Which way will we go? We'll go to hooker. In saying that, I'm going to go the value here of, first of all, Tanner Boyd, and then also Mitch Kenny. So, again, the word on the street at the moment is Boyd's going to be the halfback. Who knows? Mitch Kenny, there's a spot at Penrith, the Prems. So, yeah, I've heard a bit about Danny Levi might get a start for the Raiders. So that could be a bit of value out of Tom Starling. Yeah. At the other end, obviously, yeah, Harry Grant and Cook are the two you want. So, man, if the rest of the squad pans out, they might be upgraded, but we'll see. I guess fullback, this is the one where you make the most points generally. So Tedesco's locked, and I'm gonna go on the turbo train. There's a bit of chat about him not playing round one at the moment, but got the buy round two. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. If you got your best player by far, you've got to get him in. So yeah, and at 577, that's too good to pass up as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if he's not playing, could always flick into Lachlan Miller, similar sort of vibe. Should get the starting gig at the Knights. Um, yeah, again, there's not a lot of value in this position. Be like halfback, any of the value shouts, like where is he? Tyrell Sloan, Charles Nickel Clockstad, the Hammer. They're all going to be probably in my centre. So you can probably throw them in now actually. So if we scroll down, right, I think I've overshot it. There we go. So we bang them in. Sloan, absolutely. But I guess to finish up the spine, my man Matt Burton, happy to have him in the side the start of this year. And where is he? Joshy Star. So Burton, yeah, I'm a tragic Dogs fan. So since he's come to the club, he's been the man crush. So glad to get him in. So from the start of the season, he had a really good second half of the season. So his value is based on that second half of the season. Well, I guess the first half not being so great. And Schuster, I guess a good shout at the start, given that he's supposed to have the 5'8" job at Manly. Um, I think eventually Katoa will go in that spot when he gets a run in first grade, but at that stage I can either flick Schuster the second row if he's still moving up, or just trade him straight in if need be. Alright, so then from there, like I said, I've got my spine locked and loaded. How am I going for cash? Still got about half, so doing okay. 14 players to go. So the front row, again, we don't want to be spending a great deal here. This is probably, a bit of the plotters section. As much as I love some of these guys like Tarpany, Payne Haas has been a legend in the past. Tohu, Ruben Cotter, solid points there. But maybe Nelson, if he gets that second row spot at the Storm, might be interesting. Get a little dual position action there. Max King was a legend last year. Scrolling down. Luke Thompson again. You can tell I'm a Bulldogs fan here, wrapping up all those guys. But yeah, I like his go. But I'm going to go Saifidi, number one. And at the moment, I'm going to go Christian Welsh, number two. There's been a few people talk about Tommy Gilbert getting a big role. Lindsay Collins, you'd think, would have to stand up given Talcaho's left. Yeah, so I guess they're the two I've sort of got. And, Welsh could change. He's not going to explode as much. Saifidi's good for a try, so he's a good value shout, I think. But then the benchies, just a couple of cheapies. Scroll. So I know, Stefano looked alright until the Tigers signed a whole new forward pack. Spencer Leniu going to the Dogs in 24, so he might get around next year. But I think someone like Sean Keppie, so to power leave in the Eagles, means there's got to be minutes there for a Eagles front rower. I'll back him in. And then the other one is a bit of a toss-up, but I guess because he's the most expensive of the choices, I'll lock in Jack Hetherington. Looked good on the edge when he was playing there for the Dogs, until he got injured. So, yeah, if he locks that edge spot at the Knights, I'd be all over that. Otherwise, we're probably looking for someone starting down here, like a Mawali. There's minutes for grabs at Souths. Franklin Pele, again, another Bulldog, but wherever he is, that's gone. Unless there he is right next to Mawali. Everyone's bigging up Shaq Mitchell as well. So, yeah, a few options there to downgrade that if we need to for cash purposes or just for playing purposes. Alright, so then we're left with our centre wing and our second row. So there is a lot of value in the second row, it would seem. It's one of the more value positions, I think, this year. So if we even go down the bottom and work our way up, I suppose. So none of the bottom dollar ones stand out, although in an ideal world, our boy Jack Howarth would get a run at the Storm on decent money. He probably will throughout the year, actually, so he's a trade-in, definitely a watch list. But yeah, going up a little bit more. Sean Bloor, if he can jag the edge spot of the Tigers. They've got Papali and Bateman. It's a bit hard to get past, but if one of them's playing 13, perhaps he could slot in there. Matt Dury, there's been some chat about him getting a spot. Well, surely it's got to be on the bench. There is a slot opened at the Eels with Papali out, but, Matto, Sean Lane are probably the two favourites, I would have thought. Tapamaroa. Yeah, Ray Stone, a few people having a chat about him. Surely he'd be like the bench utility kind of guy, so don't know if I'm there with the 31% getting him in. And yes, I guess this is the area where it starts to get a bit interesting. So there's definitely an edge spot at Manly with Schuster moving to 5'8". They sort of rotated through a few last year. So whether it's Benny Trbojevic, more likely to probably start the centres. Carl Lawton would be a good shout if he gets the spot. And then Tom Eisenhuth as well. He's a shout for one of those second row spots at the Storm. So yeah, maybe one around there. But I guess the first one that's everyone's a big shout on. You can see 42%. Jermaine Hopgood expected to play 13 for the Eels, so big minutes there. Um, just scrolling up a little bit more. Yeah, so I'm going to put Katoa in. So surely, you know, even if Big Nelson gets a spot, the other one's got to drop to someone like Katoa, maybe Tarek Sims. Well, I think he'd be better off the bench. Um, get Tuolungi in there as well. So again, ideally one of the cheaper guys gets the second row spot at Manly, but um, yeah, he's the one that costs the most. So we'll get him in, and we can always downgrade. Um, but then we're starting to get into some more keeper type territory. Tom Gilbert, a lot of people think's up for some increase, but I'm going to add Aaron Clark. Should be starting 13 for the Titans. And he went really well there last year. I think he started the season off the bench as the bench hooker. So there's definitely some built-in value there. My boy Tavita Pangai, I've had sort of drafts where I've had him in the side off the back of his training in the gym for boxing over the summer. Lost a bit of weight. So hopefully that would translate to more minutes and more impact on the field. So it might be a shout, but we'll see. But the one that I am super keen on this year is the first one locked in, although not at the moment, the way I've done it, but Jeremiah Nanai. So a bit of a freak there at the Cowboys, can score tries. Um, yeah, and he'll just get better. He's only young, so why not? Then the other one's a bit of a toss-up between Fafita, which is, I guess, the most popular, Kikau and Olakau'atu. So similar profiles. You know, strong running back rowers, can score tries, can set up tries, can do all the business. I think, you know, they're a bit up and down as well, which is the downside. I could go something a bit more consistent, like up the very tippy top here. But yeah, again, we want that little bit of value for feeder. You know, it was disappointing last year. Kick out, you know, getting service from Matt Burton, so you'd expect more of the same from his Penrith days. And Olaquatu, he's been really good on that right edge outside Cherry Evans. So, I mean, might just lock in Olaquatu. I know I had him for a lot last year and was happy with him. So, we might have that. Like I said, I might even upgrade to a Luggy. He'll be the first one, just to not have both edges Manly. Hope they just feed the right side. Actually, that's probably a fair shout. I'll bin him. And probably just drop another cheapie in there. I've already got 4 decently priced players there. So if we scroll down, I mean, where were they, the cheap guys I was talking about? Oh, yeah, here we go. So, like, I think, like, Eisenhower will get a run on the bench. So I'll give him a. Again, I've got 2 Storm there. If they were the 2 starting edges, that'd be pretty sick. Doubt it. But that'll do for now. You can also flick him to centre wing as well, get that flexibility going. Could just do Howarth, but we'll see. Like I said, I think Eisenhuth will get a spot at the start. Maybe not Howarth. What are we down to? 1.49. I'm starting to fast run out of cash here. Still need 4 centre wings. Alright, so yeah, going through, I know there's a couple other. We had the 3 cheap fullbacks. I know there is at least one more here in this little squad somewhere. In what's his name? There he is, Hayes Perham. Typical player, number 1 for the Dogs. Uh, yeah, it's been a bit of a journeyman. So even I think if he's not the gun fullback, he'll still make a lot of cash, which is what we're after. And I think based on my numbers, I'm gonna have to go lower than that 112, so about 400. So we'll try and get a few more into the 400, and we'll work from there. Tommy Talau. So, yeah, if he gets a start for the Tigers, he'd be a good shout to make some money from 300k. Can score a try. Tigers look better this year. Um, then there is that young fella, what's his name from the Titans? Khan Pereira. He's a shout to start on the wing. And also, you can see from the thing, there's a bit of a vibe around Tavaro getting a centre spot at the Dolphins. Um, Also, I guess, you can tie him in with Alamati. So, I guess would be good to see him get left centre. I still have a feeling it's going to go to Braden Burns, but I don't really know that much about it. So, um, Hayes Dunster, I think, is supposed to be getting a start on the wing for the Eels. So, I'll throw him in. If one of those other bottom dollar cheapies gets in, obviously he slots in there. And that leaves us with 382. So maybe we get rid of Eisenhuth. We can afford another one of these. Oh, not quite. Just missed out my other boys. Bateman, maybe. I might have to do it. Pull the trigger on my man, TPJ. There he is. So, I think Nanai's got to start. Probably, yeah, just Nolaquatu. So that's pretty stacked second row bench. Don't know how I feel about that. So yeah, Hines and Clear is sweet. Sloan's not playing round one, so he can swap. And look, I guess maybe that's how I would leave it for the time being. Some other options is, if Tanner Boyd doesn't get the half spot, it might be Brandon Smith just to join the rest of the pack there that's going to go with him. He definitely has some built-in value. Um, or even Josh Hodson. Yeah, I'm not sure. Who else have the Eels got? Mitch Ray, there you go. Someone else, maybe. Oh, yeah. So it'll be a Hodgson start. Rain will be off the bench. Although with Reed Marnie, 80 minutes previously, so they'll probably roll with something like that, I would have thought. Yeah, New Brown off the bench. Maybe Joshy Reynolds if he gets a deal for the Dogs there, but no, Marnie will play most of them. Could even maybe reach, not quite, 500. There's also that option. Aaron Clark slots up there, use a bit of dual position, shuffle it around. Can I maybe push up Welshie to someone? No one I'm really interested in at that price point. Maybe Nelson. But yeah, just think with the Storm losing all that experience, Welsh is going to play some big minutes, and that injury affected score and his dip in value. He'll make a bit of money. Try to get up to one of the big boys at the end of the season. Yeah, so I think we'll leave it at that. Obviously the trials are still to come, and then big team list Tuesday, so it will change, no doubt. But they're just my initial thoughts on the team, some options. But yeah, obviously, if you want to throw up some other options, feel free to get in the comments. Do the like and subscribe thing. That's what you got to do on YouTube, isn't it? And other than that, thanks for watching.